Hello, beautiful people. Let's see, we've gone through some changes this week. We started off very, very hot last weekend, and then it's increasingly got chilly. It's just been weird. The heating actually came on today. I'm filming this on Sunday morning before it goes up on YouTube, and yeah, the heating actually came on and I was surprised. So considering the flat, like maybe like a week or so ago, was 30 degrees, it comes on if it's under 20 degrees. So there you go, that's the weather. Now then, let's start. I've got quite a lot of tall stuff this time. Let's start with this one. I'm just obsessed, and because I now have a 100ml backup bottle of this, I don't feel bad about wearing it, because this is, I mean, it is a discontinued perfume, but you can still get this in the UK. I just love it. I just love it. Stella Pop, it's just one of my favourites. It's just so beautiful. Perfect. Violet, tuberose, tomato leaf perfume, musky and gorgeous and sandalwoody. It's just heaven. So the notes in Stella Pop from Stella McCartney are tomato leaf, violet leaf, green mandarin in the top, middle notes, tuberose, frangipani, violet. You can actually smell the frangipani in certain weather, certainly. Occasionally I'll get more of it, like, in fact, maybe more in hot weather it comes out, you know, than it does in slightly cooler weather. But every time I wear pink, I want to wear this. But also if I need something to cheer me up, because it is definitely one of my happy perfumes. And I increasingly spray it on and think, does this smell like Coty's Issy? Was it Issy or Icky? That perfume gets compared to Debbie Gibson. I think it's called Electric Youth, which is a perfume I think was popular in the US in the late 80s, around when Debbie Gibson was popular. But I don't really think she had such an impact in the UK, and I don't know whether we ever had that perfume. But if that perfume, I've been told, reminds someone of Stella Pop. So now I'm thinking, I wonder if that's what it is. I can't get a hold of that perfume. I've never seen a dupe of it, but anyway, that's what I was thinking the other day, because I kept thinking it really does remind me of spraying something on myself when I was a kid. And I kept thinking maybe it was Avon, but it could equally be Coty, because those were the two brands I wore. Anyway, I've gone off on a tangent. It's another one also that I reach for when I want something slightly violety, because I've used something violety on my hair, and I can't get enough of it. Musk, sandalwood and cedar in the base. I can't remember if I said that, but anyway. So Stella Pop, it's one of my favourites. I just am very happy to go through this bottle knowing that I have another one and I'm not going to run out of it basically in my lifetime, I shouldn't imagine. So that's very good news. Next up, let's go for, because even, like, I think this one cost me about 25 quid when I bought it. And even the backup I bought, because it's from Direct Cosmetics and it's just in a tester box, you know, so it's technically a tester bottle, but the bottle's exactly the same. And that was £30, and it's 100ml and it was discontinued. So it's still an incredibly affordable perfume if you can get hold of it at the moment. Obviously, once it disappears from any kind of grey market, then it's going to become very expensive. But this next one is just fully cheap. It's a cheapie. And it's a really fun and pretty cheapie. I like this one. Let me just spray it out real quick. It's like, I think it's an eau de toilette. It's definitely stronger than a body spray, but because of the bottle it comes in, it kind of always feels a bit like a body spray. This is Chanson de Eau. I think I said when I wore the green, the original Chanson de Eau, I was probably going to wear this one because it's another one that's good for hot weather. It's not quite as good for like incredibly hot weather, because this one's a little bit sweeter to me, but the original, because it's so grassy and citrusy and then kind of clean smelling, that's the one that I initially think of. And I forgot to mention when I was talking about that, was it last week? I sprayed some of that on my husband because I wanted to know what it smelled like on him, because to me it's very unisex, and he smelled so good in the green Chanson de Eau. Like, really suited him. I like him in freshies, I really do. So Mar Azul is what this one's called. It doesn't say it on it, but it's Chanson de Eau Mar Azul. And I feel like this one, and this is like a fruity and more feminine feeling version of something like light blue. It's got that kind of feel about it. It still feels summery and fresh and pretty, but it's got this nice sweet fruitiness because there's a beautiful apricot and tangerine in here, and I get quite a lot of apricot. I think this is a really nice perfume. So the top notes are apricot, blackcurrant and tangerine. the mid notes are lily of the valley, freesia, damask, rose. The base notes are musk, ambergris, and vanilla. And I also, I think I've mentioned this before, I think this smells quite a lot like Justin Bieber's Collector's Edition, which is in the same shaped bottle as the Key, but it was a see-through bottle and it had a piece of vinyl on the front. And that was a limited edition, and I somehow managed to get hold of that. I think, again, from maybe Direct Cosmetics and something for a crazy cheap price. But it smelled very similar to this, except that it had a more synthetic wood in the base. And so I just kept this one and I got rid of the Collector's Edition. And I also had Guess Girl Summer, and that also smelled a little bit like the Collector's Edition, Justin Bieber's Collector's Edition, and therefore a little bit like this. But again, it had more of a synthetic wood, and I was like, I'm just going to keep this, this kind of £5 perfume instead. A couple of people have compared this to a Clat d'Arpège, and like I said, I mean, I don't think it actually smells like that because I think this one's more fruity, but it is in that same kind of profile, that light blue kind of profile, but without smelling... I mean, because light blue to me just smells so synthetic. It's like, I don't know if I'd say it's tarry, but it's because it's been a long time since I smelled it, but probably that's the problem that I had with it, that it's got this kind of masculine, woody, bitter, tarry thing going on, and then a kind of lemon cleaning product. That's what I get from that perfume. This one, it's apricot-y, it's tangerine-y, it's blackcurrant-y, it's still floral, it's still clean, really nice. And a Clat d'Arpège is delicate, it's got tea, and it's got, I think, wisteria, so it's got these gentle powdery purple florals. So I much prefer both of those to light blue, but I do think it's in that same realm. All right, next one, because otherwise I shall talk about that for ages. What am I putting up? Oh gosh, I've got some big boys here. What am I going to put up next? Oh, no, all right, let's talk about this one. Another one that I think is technically not in production anymore, but I checked, and you can still get this in the UK, and you can still get it in the US, and they ship to the UK as well, actually. You can get this from Fragrance X, and it's still, I think, maybe about £30, like an absolute bargain for 100ml. I really like this in hot weather. This is the thing. This is Kim Kardashian Pure Honey. It's a beautiful floral honey perfume. It's... I wanted to wear... Like, there were 3 perfumes, actually, I wore this week that I would have liked to wear for more than one day, but I just decided, like, I'm wearing a different outfit, I want a different thing or whatever. This is one that I love so much when I'm in the right mood for it and when it's the right temperature. See, what's the best way to put this on here? I'm going to have to put it this way. But when it's the right temperature for this, for me, which is very warm to quite hot weather, I love this perfume. It's like a kind of, I get a honey caramel smell on my skin along with some really obvious florals. So if you don't like floral perfumes but you like the idea of like a caramel honey, you're probably still not going to like this. But if you like, because it is sweet, but there's something about the flowers that stop it being sickly. It's very nicely balanced. I do find this screechy when it's cold though. Like, so in colder weather, I think that the florals are too much here and I don't get enough of that nice caramelly honey. But when it's warm, this is so addictive. Like, I really, really enjoy Pure Honey. I think it's a fantastic perfume. This is one of my favourite bottles. I know it's a little bit unwieldy to actually spray it, but these bottles, I think it's called True Reflection, the black bottle, which is like a really delicious, like, plummy and chocolate orchid fruit chili, basically. I don't really like fruit chilies. I find them almost impossible to wear, so I didn't keep that perfume. But it's like a subtly sexy fruit chili, that one, and it's in the same bottle but like with black glass, and I would have loved to like it enough as a perfume to keep both because I really love these. My husband really likes this perfume. He loves this bottle as well. And so, yeah, I think this is such a gorgeous perfume, and it has this lovely honeysuckle, which is so pretty. So, notes for Pure Honey, we've got freesia, mandarin blossom, and red rose in the top. Middle notes of beeswax, honey, honeysuckle, and orchid in the mid. Base notes, coconut, vanilla and musk in the base. And I think it's the mixture of the honey and the beeswax that makes this smell caramelly to me. If you mix in, well, probably to be fair, the coconut and the vanilla with the beeswax and the honey gives this a caramelly texture, a waxy caramelly texture. But then it's really cut through by that mandarin blossom. And I think probably the mandarin blossom and the rose are the things that comes through too much to me when this is like in cold weather. Yeah, see, the thing is, I can tell this still smells beautiful, but because it's not so warm at the moment, it doesn't smell anywhere near as good as it did when I wore it earlier in the week. When I wore it earlier in the week, I was like, I couldn't stop smelling myself, and I was like, oh my god, it's so good. So anyway, that's Pure Honey from Kim Kardashian. One of the many things that isn't being made anymore, which is an absolute travesty. Okay, shall we let's do these 3 tall ones. So, speaking of, I'm afraid another discontinued, but I do have alternatives for this. I don't really have an alternative for Pure Honey, because I haven't ever smelled anything that quite smells like Pure Honey. Like, obviously there are other honey perfumes, but not that smell like this. Like, I've not come across one either. If you guys know of one that smells really similar, please do put it down in the comments, because I'm sure there's people who, like in different countries, that won't be able to get hold of this anymore. So, but yeah, well, I digress. So this is it's another one that I really, really wanted to wear for a few days in a row, to be honest. But you'll see what I chose to wear instead of it, because it arrived in the post. So I was like, okay. Again, this is like I said before, it's just one of the best celebrity perfumes, I think. Oh god, I can't stop sniffing it. It's so good. Another one I like to wear in much warmer weather, because this is too shampooey for me in cold weather. This is The Key by Justin Bieber. It's an absolute joy. It's just an absolute joy, and I love it. So we've got pear, bosenberry, mandarin orange and osmanthus in the top. We've got peach, water lily and pink jasmine in the mid. We've got base notes of musk, vanilla, raspberry and woody notes. I love this perfume. This is another one I have a backup of, because genuinely these were like £6 on Direct Cosmetics. So I bought it to try for the channel when I first started the channel. And I think even then I was saying, it's one of my very early like videos before I had a microphone or had even decided on my setup. And I think I said in that video, there's something I really like about this perfume, but it's quite shampooey. I don't know if I'll be able to wear it, but I'll keep it. And then I tried it in hotter weather, completely fell head over heels for it. Perfect berry fruity floral, which I think I find very difficult to find, because I do find them so screechy and shampooey a lot of the time. This is so delicious. It's so beautiful. So I just went back and bought another one. So like £6. And if I hold a light up behind here, I think I'm down to about here on this one. So I've actually got a little dent in this. And again, it's another one that now I know I'm just going to wear this throughout summer and not feel bad about it. But there's, okay, let me give you the notes. So this is pear, bosenberry, mandarin orange and osmanthus. Now, I love those notes. Hugo Boss Woman, Hugo Boss Woman and Hugo Boss Woman Extreme have bosenberry in, and I mean, it's such a nice, slightly unusual berry. And then pear is one of my all-time favourite notes in perfumes. I mean, I just love pear perfumes. I really like osmanthus. In the mid, you've got peach, water lily and pink jasmine, and then the base, musk, vanilla, raspberry and woody notes. That raspberry in the base is a stroke of genius, because it keeps the lovely, juicy berry smell going throughout the whole wear. The vanilla, which I thought was, when I first got this, I was like, oh, the vanilla comes through in quite an interesting way at the base of this perfume. It's so nice. You do get a bit of the peach, I think, but I think I get a lot of the bosenberry, pear, raspberry. Oh, and I think it's the osmanthus that makes it so magical. It's going to have another smell. Yeah, I'm going to have to wear this again quite soon, because I really love this perfume. And it's such a shame they don't make it. But it does smell, to be honest, a little bit similar to, I think it's called Sea Passion. So let me just I'm just gonna, well, first off, let's talk about a much more affordable one, which I think is quite similar. So, Cassandra Rose Rouge from Jean Arthès is a perfume that I had and I got rid of because although I really enjoyed it, it did actually remind me a little bit of this. And it's not shampooy, it's a really nice fruity floral. That is a dupe for, I think it's called Sea Passion. Let me just check. Yeah, Sea Passion from Giorgio Armani. But the Giorgio Armani I find very screechy and uncomfortable, and the La Rive dupe of that I find screechy because I find all of the sea perfumes like have that ingredient that like I find really piercing, like it feels like there's a needle in my eye, that kind of thing, like an instant headache. Cassandra Rose Rouge from Jean Arthès doesn't have that. But it has beautiful florals, it's got berries, and it's got pear and vanilla, and it really, really reminds me of this. So it's definitely not exactly the same, but if you can't get this and you can get that Jean Arthès Cassandra Rose Rouge, I think it will give you a similar experience. Like, I was so close to keeping that one just so that I could maybe keep it at work or at my parents' house or something, but it's a 100ml bottle, so it's quite big and a bit bulky, so I didn't in the end. But I really liked that perfume, and if I didn't have the key, I 100% would have kept it. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. All right, so next up, all right, let's do these other big boys. So like I said, it was still pretty hot last weekend, so I've got two here that are definitely for hot weather. So as I said, it was quite hot at the weekend, so it was very hot actually in the flat, so I was wearing a couple of things that I reach for when it's very hot, this being one of them. This is Clean Fresh Laundry and Lavender. One hell of a dent in this big bad boy. I do very occasionally spray this on my sheets, but this is genuinely one I wear in hot weather, and it's one you spray a lot of because it's an eau fraiche, and I mean it basically is a body spray, and I want to reapply it a lot just because it is so fresh. It smells like laundry and it smells like lavender, but it's sweet, and it's just... I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it. It just smells like very realistically fresh out of the washing machine, lavender scented laundry that's still wet. That's what it smells like. And it's just perfect when it's horribly hot, when you're so uncomfortable. Like, I never am so hot that I don't want to wear a perfume, but I'm often so hot that I need to wear something that is purely fresh, that just makes me smell clean or makes me smell like a citrus fruit. Like, those are the two go-tos. Sometimes I'll go for like smelling like some kind of tea, and obviously green tea is perfect for that. But when it's like unbearably hot, like horribly, then it's laundry, clean laundry, or a citrus fruit is normally what I want. So notes in Fresh Laundry and Lavender from Clean are fruity notes and pineapple in the top, apparently. Middle notes of lavender, green grass, orchid, night blooming jasmine and star anise. Base notes musk, tonka bean, amber, precious woods, patchouli. The only thing on here that I can recognise from smelling this is the lavender, the musk, maybe the tonka. Like, everything else, I mean, I'm sure the orchid and the jasmine, I'm sure it's like flowery, because generally speaking, musk and flowers is what they use to make the laundry scent. But I mean, the rest of the notes are kind of gobbledygook in terms of how this actually smells. Like, I don't know. But I love it, and it's a shame that they don't make it anymore. Someone actually did say, I think it was Lovely Pretty in Perfume from YouTube. If you don't follow her, you're mad. You should. She makes fantastic videos. I love her videos. So yeah, Pretty in Perfume. She said that she'd had the eau de toilette of this and she found it, I think she said either sharp or a bit screechy or something. And I can imagine that, because I think the reason this works so well is because it's a very watery, fresh scent. I think if you condensed this down and had less water in it, it would maybe be a bit overwhelming, which I think some laundry things can. Like, I've even had like it's not Febreze, but like a cheaper version of Febreze, which I got because I couldn't get Febreze for some reason. I sold out of it everywhere. Maybe they've stopped making it, which is a shame. Anyway, I digress. I bought it just to spray around the house because, again, in hot weather, I just want things to smell like clean laundry, and I can't keep everything smelling like that all the time. So I just like to refresh it. And it's a little bit screechy, to be honest. I'm sometimes fresh laundry things are just a bit screechy and too sharp, and I can see that this would be in a stronger concentration. So like, I'm not sure that I would say that Eau de Toilette is a good one to get, but I haven't smelled it, so I can't really comment, unfortunately. All right, we're gonna have to squish these guys right up to get this next bad boy on here, or bad girl. All right, we are going to talk about. Oh, this is gonna annoy me as well, because I really wish that I could get the perfume of this, because this is a discontinued perfume, but you can still get this body spray very easily in the UK and probably everywhere else. This is just so refreshing on a really hot day. I really like this. This is Island Fantasy from Britney Spears. I have seen some... Oh, look, I've actually got a bit more space than I thought, haven't I? It's crazy that this isn't brighter, but anyway. So Island Fantasy is, I think, supposed to be... What's in this one? Oh, yeah, because some people call this a watermelon perfume. I know this doesn't smell like watermelon to me, like, at all. And let me just give you the notes. So, red berries, clementine, watermelon, mandarin, and citrus. Mid notes of jasmine, freesia, violet. Base notes, sugarcane, and musk. This just smells like pineapple to me. Like, this truly smells like pineapple to me. When I first got it, I was like, there's pineapple in this, surely. Whoa, it's a big spray. Yeah, it just smells like... It smells like pineapple and a bit of watermelon, but I wouldn't call this a watermelon perfume compared to Jungle Fantasy or her other perfumes. Something about the citruses here mixed with that watermelon is just making me think of pineapple. And I love that. I love it. It smells like pineapple. So yeah, I've seen bottles of this on Vinted and eBay, and I'm quite tempted to try and get hold of a bottle, because I'd really like to know what the stronger version of this smells like. I kind of want it. I'm not sure whether I'm being insane about that, but yeah, I don't know. I just really like this. Like I said, I've got not much else to say other than I think it smells like pineapple. So I've got 2 left. So let's start with one I wear all the time. We can skip over it quite quickly. Just one of my ride or dies now, this. I love this perfume, and I can't believe I was so many years without it. My God, I'm so happy to have it. Oh my God. Lolita Fleur de Fendu is just one of my favourite perfumes of all time now, to be honest, and my favourite Lolita Lempicka, even though I love so many of them. Yeah, I mean, she's an absolute beauty. She is Lolita Lempicka, easy tea, but let's make it sweeter, add in mimosa and a strawberry leaf that kind of smells like an apple orchard. That's what it is. I love it. I can't get enough of it. It still has the kind of smoky, licoricey, anacey smell that I get from the original Lolitas. And maybe the original Lempickas. It's still got the violet, it's got the cherry, it's got the almond, it's got the iris. It's just... God, it's so delicious. So mimosa, wormwood, strawberry leaf and stem greens in the top, violet, anise, peony and iris in the mid, base notes, almond, cherry, musk. All I can say is that possibly the closest Lolita Lempicka you'll get to experiencing this is the first few sprays of Mon Eau, but then that dries down into a musky raspberry, so it's very different, or just the original Lolita Lempicka, I'm afraid. I wish I could tell you there was a dupe of this, but there isn't. I saw on Fragrantica they had this whole list of of a special collection from Lolita Lempicka, but they don't have anything about that on their Instagram, and it's not on their website, so I'm just waiting to see what happens, because obviously if Lolita Lempicka have a collection out, unless they're doing that thing where it's like some special thing that's super expensive, which I'm not going to blind buy, obviously. But if they have some kind of way of me smelling that collection, then obviously I will do that, because I am a Lolita Lempicka stan. So, like, I need to smell whatever that is. I think there's, like, maybe 6, if not more, perfumes that have come out. But anyway, they just went on to Fragrantica, and I looked at them straight away, and I was like, I need to try these. But anyway. So, instead of wearing the key for 2 days in a row, this is what arrived in the post. So I was like, I'll wear this instead, because it's still a fruity floral. So Ellis Brooklyn Apple Love arrived. I got this from eBay because I didn't want to pay 120 odd pounds for it. I got it for about £60 instead. And I just sold something. I'd sold a perfume on eBay, which is why I could afford to do that. So I also, I'm just going to say this quickly because it might still have, I bought some pen sprays from Ellis Brooklyn, from the actual Ellis Brooklyn UK website, because they have a birthday discount, 20% off, and you get freebies. So I think everything in that order was of the value of like 200 and something pounds, but it cost me 118, I think, for a bunch of pen sprays and some samples. But I got a free body spray and a free Myth oil rollerball as well. So that was just like a treat to myself, because there was some stuff there that I wanted, but I didn't want to buy full bottles, obviously. And it was such a good deal that I was like, okay, like I'm just going to do that, knowing that I can sell anything on that I'm not into. And I wanted to do a review. So anyway, just in case you're interested in Ellis Brooklyn, they've got a special birthday 20% discount thing. It's B-Day, and then they've got freebies depending on how much you spend. So like, it's totally worth it. Anyway, Apple Love arrived from eBay. This is pretty. This is tangy, fruity, floral, but something interesting happened when I was wearing this a full day. I like it, and I'm glad that I have it, and I'm definitely going to wear it, but it kind of started to remind me of something else. So, not exactly, but in the realm of, like, the same kind of profile. One of the things I like, I mean, look, are these worth over 100 quid? I don't think so, but I do like a magnetic cap. I really like a magnetic cap. Anyway, so Apple Love from Ellis Brooklyn. Can you actually see what that says? There we go. Let's put it on an angle. So the notes in this baby: top notes of red apple, peach and green mandarin. Middle notes of sugarcane, plum blossom, osmanthus and lily of the valley. Base notes: Madagascar, vanilla, musk, ambroxan and sandalwood. So whenever I see ambroxan actually listed as a recognisable note in a perfume, I'm always like, that is going to mean there's too much ambroxan for me, because generally speaking, that is the case. Like, I know that there's ambroxan in so many perfumes and it's not given as a note. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that's in a ton of perfumes. But I think the degree to which it's used. So like, if we start with something like Juliet Has a Gun, that's an absolute nightmare to me, because it's basically just ambroxan and it smells like bitter, woody hell. Like, I hate it. Screechy, headachy, nasty horribleness. Which was my experience when, before I started my channel, I bought a Juliet Has a Gun discovery set, and every single one of the perfumes, I was like, why are these so disgusting? People keep talking about them, I don't understand. And now I know it's because I don't love ambroxan. I don't even like ambroxan. If I can sense it, it's too much. And normally, like I said, if someone says, like, if a company actually announces ambroxan as a note, as a recognisable, what do they call it for KI? Like a hero note or whatever, I'm like, this is going to give me a headache. But I don't really sense it that much in here. Like, I don't get a bitter woodiness. I'm not getting a screechiness. It didn't give me a headache. I wore it on a warm but not hot day. This is fruity. I feel like in the store I got more red apple and less of the peach, and I'm getting a little bit more of the peach wearing it now. And I really love that plum blossom and osmanthus. Like, these are really good florals in here for me. And you definitely, the more it dries down, the more you get a little bit of that vanilla, which I really like. But I was wearing it and I was thinking to myself, this is making me think of Miss Dior 2021 and perfumes that smell a bit like that. That was the vibe that I was getting from it. And I have a dupe of that, which is called Miss Cassandra from Jean Arthès, and I feel like that one's more like kind of berries. I don't think that has apple in it. It's more of a kind of berry, fruity floral with an obvious vanilla in the base. But this one, when I was wearing it, I was like, oh, it's like, it's sort of a vibe of this kind of thing, because it is a fruity floral that to me smells kind of pink. But then wearing it like for a full day, I was like, oh, it is kind of a little bit making me think of Miss Dior. And it's a very good version for me. Like, this is a really, having that red apple and those florals, it's like a really good version for me. Much prefer it to kind of red berries, if you see what I mean. But yeah, so anyway, I'm going to wear Miss Cassandra to work at some point so I can see whether, like, this was a good breakthrough for me for that kind of profile, because I love smelling that on other people, but sometimes I struggle and it doesn't feel like me, that kind of profile, but I liked it. I'm just looking to see if I recognise anything that's in the comparisons here. Nina by Nina Ricci. I don't really get that from this. Like, I find that perfume so sickly. I don't like it. I don't think it smells like Sweet Like Candy from Ariana Grande. I don't know about Thank You Next 2.0 because I don't know whether I've even smelt that. I might have sniffed it in store, but I don't remember smelling it. I definitely don't get Sweet Like Candy from this. That is way more sickly than this Love Apple. Apple Love? Apple Love. Yeah, I don't really recognise the rest of the things here. There's one called Sunkissed Dahlia from Skylar, which has the most votes, but again, I don't really know that one. But yeah, I mean, this is really pretty. It's one of the nicest Ellis Brooklyns. I will have to do a review, but you might see me wearing a couple of the other ones at some point. There's one that I got in that bundle that has that tarry aroma chemical enough that I couldn't really smell it in store, and I couldn't really smell it on the card, but on my skin and in my home I can smell it. But apart from that, I haven't really had aroma chemical issues sniffing the Ellis Brooklyn stuff, which is really unusual. When I was in Space NK, I have to just say it, I smelt the Boy Smells perfumes. I just sniffed them, and they, with the exception of the vanilla one, is it called Vanilla Vice? I can't remember, but Boy Smells have one called Vanilla. I kind of like their weird little bottles. They look like they're from the 90s. But every single other one I smelt from them smelt like tar. They were disgusting. They just smelt fully like tar and aroma chemicals. They were nasty, except the vanilla one. So, and again, and I sniffed, I nearly forgot. I also sniffed the two Kayali's, the two new Kayali's. One of them is a pear perfume, one of them's peach. I'm going to look them up now because I can tell you. Kayali Peach, I think it's actually called Peach. Okay, Eden Sweet Peach. I actually thought this one smelled really nice at first, which makes sense because I can see it's got red apple and peach in the top, and like I say, I love a red apple. It's got freesia and frangipane. It's got a lot of things I like in this. Peach, red apple, bergamot, middle notes, nectarine, freesia, frangipani, jasmine, rose, base notes, vanilla, musk, praline, amber, oak moss, tonka and patchouli. Very lovely, juicy, fruity, peachy smell. And seeing it's got red apple explains why I liked this, because it didn't just smell like peach, but it was very juicy, very nice, fruity, smelt very youthful to me, the sort of thing I would have loved when I was a lot younger. And then it just veered off into tar land. Like, it just got chemically and gross, smelt burnt and rubbery and bitter, and I was like, gross. That is what just happens with most modern Kayali's and a lot of Kayali's just in general. And then the other one, what was this one? Plush Pear. This is the one that I thought I'd be like, yes, because I love pear. But I don't think it smelled quite as nice as the peach. It was nice though. It smelled nice again at first, and then again it just turned into a tarry aroma chemical nightmare. So yeah, so Plush. What's it called again? Let me do the full name. Eden Plush Pear from Kayali. The notes in that one were pear, mandarin and bergamot in the top. Middle notes of freesia, gardenia, coconut water, lily of the valley and orange blossom. Base notes vanilla, caviar, cashmere wood and sandalwood. I feel like my thoughts on smelling that pear is it wasn't a particularly natural smelling pear, but it was still fun. It was juicy, smelt youthful, smelt summery. But then, yeah, again, it fell off a cliff again, like straight into the tarry bucket. Really not surprised, it's why I didn't want to buy any samples of those, and I don't really buy samples anymore of Kayali because they're nearly always chemical nightmares to me. So I just smelt them in store and I was not impressed, which is often the way. But yeah, so I'm gonna wrap this up now, guys. I am going to be here next weekend. I'm just working out, yeah. So this weekend coming, next Sunday, I will be back with another video. The week after that I will be away, but I'll remind you of that hopefully next weekend anyway. So we'll have to skip a week because I won't be at home in London to do what I wore last week. I shall be seeing my family. So that is me. Thank you very much for listening to me waffle on. I hope this one wasn't ridiculously long, and I'll see you again next Sunday. Bye guys.